Hey everyone, Meinke here from MLive.com. I am in Houston where the Lions have just lost 20-13 against the Texans, snapping their 3-game winning streak. The big story out of this one is going to be the decision making of Jim Caldwell. He made several interesting, we'll say, decisions in this game, and none more so than the decision to go for the onside kick there at the end. Less than 3 minutes left. Lions get a score. They're within 7 points of the Texans, but instead of kicking it deep, using those 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning to play the long game, hoping to get a stop there, Caldwell elected to do the onside kick. It was unsuccessful. Houston got a couple of first downs, was able to run out the clock easily, and Matthew Stafford, who's been so good in those late game situations, was never allowed to have the ball back in a one-score game. So Caldwell obviously criticized, and rightfully so. That he took, I believe, he took the riskier play. But having said that, I think the greater criticism with Caldwell and the Lions is the defense, and I think that's where we should be aiming our criticism, because through that context, you can understand Caldwell's rationale. Even if you don't necessarily agree with what he did, you can understand the rationale there. The Lions' defense, it's been so bad this year. They were bad in the first half, stopping even Brock Osweiler. They were bad stopping tight ends again, totally unreliable. And obviously in that late game situation, they're going to be trying to run the ball. And the Lions' run defense was actually pretty good in the first half, 23 yards allowed on 12 carries. But in the fourth quarter, it was atrocious, allowing more than 5 yards per carry. I mean, the Texans definitely wore down the Lions' rush defense. You could see the loss of Haloti Ngata was really affecting, I think, that depth and the talent up there in the fourth quarter. His guys started to wear thin, and Houston really took it to him. And Jim Caldwell did not have faith. I mean, he's not going to put it this way, but basically he did not have faith in the rush defense. And you can't blame him for that, because there was no reason to believe that they could get that stop. And so in that context, you can understand what he's doing. If he thinks he's not going to win the game by kicking it off and just letting them rush the ball and run out the clock, he's going for the onside kick. He's trying to get the ball back that way. And really, I mean, you still have an opportunity to get a stop there. If you can get a 3 and out with your timeouts with the 2-minute warning, you would still get the ball back. That's the game he was playing. I think you can still criticize him. I think the odds of winning the game that way were lower than winning the game if you kick it deep. But you can understand it. And I think the greater criticism is there as this team looks forward to the second half of the season. If they're to become legitimate playoff contenders, they have to get better defense. That's the shortcoming of this team. Matthew Stafford can't conjure fourth quarter comebacks every week as he has the past few weeks, and it's just living with such narrow margins for error on offense. And when the offense stumbles as it did today, really struggling, especially in the first half there, only 3 points, then you're going to lose football games, and that's what happened exactly today. Lions need to get better defense from this team, or they're going to be in trouble. Starting next week with a really tough game against Minnesota. In Houston, for MLive.com, I am Meinke.